Welcome to Dr. Mary Travelbest's 5 Steps to Solo Travel Guide for people like you who need extra support traveling one at a time. Please share this podcast with your loved ones, and I'd love to hear from you about what do you think? Did you have any questions? Tell me about that. The Travelbest team is creating a travel workbook and a 3rd book, Part C, about 90 days around the world. So listen on. In this episode, the FAQ is, what should I do about travel insurance? Today's destination is Florence, Italy, Part 2. Today's misstep, narrow sidewalks and missing street signs in Florence. And travel advice, airfares are climbing in price, so beware of sticker shock. And now the FAQ. What should I do about travel insurance? Now, I don't have any financial affiliations with travel insurance companies, but I would follow some of the best practices. It's not too late to add insurance if you need it. I have health insurance worldwide, and my credit card may cover additional travel items. Solo travelers should care about this. One example is that a comprehensive travel insurance plan can save you thousands in case of an emergency. These companies make money, so remember you are paying for their overhead and pooled reimbursements. Many people never need insurance, but if you do, invest in a good reputation to avoid unexpected costs from cancellations, medical emergencies, or lost luggage. Some experts say to budget at least 5% of your trip cost for insurance. And here are some possible scenarios to include insurance. If you're traveling internationally, the trip involves connecting flights or multiple destinations, traveling to a remote area with limited healthcare facilities, traveling to a hurricane-prone area. Trip costs are non-refundable, or you can't afford to cancel and rebook. Health insurance doesn't cover you abroad, or if you want to be reimbursed if you decide to cancel your trip or return home early. Now, if you want more information, here's an additional reference. Squaremouth, which has provided travelers insurance since 2003. They are aggregators or brokers, and my friend Sandy recommended them as she's looking at her options for a cruise this fall. What's your travel insurance experience? Let me know. Now for today's destination, Florence, Italy, Part 2. Let's talk about the art galleries in Florence. I'm not an artist, but still, I was impressed. Of course, David by Michelangelo is at the Galleria dell'Accademia, and the Prisoner's sculpture is also there. His art almost seems to release the figures from the marble, showing strength and beauty. What impressed me was David's large feet and hands. The serpent in his hands was distinctly created as art outside of the church. And the statue celebrates David winning over Goliath. But what else? The Uffizi Gallery. It's got some world-famous art. The highlights are Botticelli's The Birth of Venus and Primavera from Botticelli's and Da Vinci's Annunciation. That showcases his observation of nature and intricate details. And even if you're not an artist like me or have never painted, you can still appreciate the detail and human creativity that's showcased here from centuries ago. Now here's another twist to this. How many churches are there in Florence? There are 65 at least. Florence was the cradle of the Renaissance, and many churches were sponsored or commissioned, and they made great artworks. So it's not a big surprise to learn that there's so many churches, even today. Let's discuss churches here a bit. The most famous and photographed Florentine church is probably the Duomo. The other famous churches include Santa Maria Novella, San Lorenzo, and San Croce. San Croce is where the stars are buried. It reminded me a bit of Los Angeles's Hollywood Walk of Fame. I had to pay a fee to enter, but seeing the final resting spots for many of my favorite artists was worth it. Okay, a few notes that I had in my guide. I'm rested. The heat is 90 degrees plus. An umbrella helps. I'm having gelato. Bus 23 again. No one seems to pay for the bus. I'm having problems with the bank and getting texts. Okay, back to my question. What would I do next time if I was in Florence? If possible, I would like to visit the regions outside, like Siena and Pisa. And now for today's misstep. Narrow sidewalks and missing signage for street names. So Florence has very narrow sidewalks, sometimes barely wide enough for one person, so walking them may be a challenge for some of you. However, the streets' names are not all marked, so I got lost a lot. Instead of getting lost, find landmarks that can help you navigate, like store signage or outdoor patio restaurants and other types of landmarks other than street names. They can help you return to your destination if you're in an unfamiliar place. And now for today's travel advice. Airfares are climbing in price, so beware of sticker shock. Now, airfares may seem high, but they will be going much higher in the future due to inflation, fuel costs, and the fact that the actual plane supply has not grown. The pandemic hangover affects the supply of new aircraft, so fewer seats mean more per seat as supply tries to meet demand. Airlines compensate for lost revenues by charging for everything they can, including early boarding, comfy seats, and bottled water. So if you are a savvy traveler, bring less and pay less when you can to save money. I want to bring meaning to your future travels. Sign up for the Dr.Travelbest newsletter. Let's connect on social media, including TikTok. Find the 5 Steps to Solo Travel series on Amazon and look in the show notes for more details. We need your help to help others. Thank you.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travelbest, that is.